Hi guys, hope you're doing really well and having a wonderful day whatever you are up to. My name is Grace and we're going to be going on a journey over the next few days looking at evangelism. These series of videos are called Sync and we're going to be explaining what Sync is in just a moment. But before we do that, we're just going to introduce ourselves. My name's Emma.
And my name is Jack.
So, before we look at Sync, we are just going to show you a few clips of what we get up to over the next few days. Take a look. As you can see, Jack and Jess have popped over and we're just going to have a little chat about evangelism.
Is it ham?
As you can see, I'm joined by the wonderful Laura.
It asks questions around, well, what is my purpose? What am I created for? What's the point of life? Why am I on this planet?
Come on! The whole bowl? What? I wouldn't have eaten that. Oh!
Keep praying. If you feel anxious about stepping out, pray about it. If you want to see your family and your friends know God in that deep and intimate way, pray about it.
It's kidney! Hi! That is an awful sound, isn't it?
What is it?
But through it all, I have known that God has been with me, that He understands my questions, that He understands my pain.
Yeah.
Sorry if I was it's really loud.
I know it is. So you've got Matthew, Mark, Luke and John in the New Testament, the first 4 books in the New Testament, and I'd probably start with Mark.
Shame!
And I really want to encourage you guys to think about key people in your life that have really made a difference. For me, it was that youth worker when I was 16 years old who came up to me and said, start reading the truth of God over your life. And from us, it's a really big goodbye. Bye. Bye.
The first part to Sync is your story. Your story is so important, it's so incredibly powerful, and it's more powerful than often we think it is. Your story can relate to people around you, it helps to build relationships, and it helps to testify to what God has done in your life.
So the second element of Sync is their story. So this is about your friend's story, your family story, whoever it is that you want to talk to about Jesus, it's about their story and how important that is. So it's about making connections with them so you know what to say when you talk about God's story and your story.
And the third element of Sync is God's story, the importance of the Bible, immersing ourselves into the Bible. It can truly make a difference to how we live our lives, the way that we live, the choices we make, and the words that we speak. So we want you to immerse yourself into God's word over the next few days and see what happens. So guys, you have just been told what Sync is. It's about your story, their story, and God's story all coming together. But an incredible element of the process of Sync is prayer. We believe in the power of prayer. So we want to encourage you to start praying for 3 of your friends who are not yet Christians in this process. I've chosen 3, Jack's chosen 3, and Emma's chosen 3 people in our lives who don't yet know Jesus. And we're going to pray that God gives opportunities for us to share faith, share Jesus, and what He has done in our lives with them over the course of the next few weeks and months. A few years ago, I met my best friend, Jo. I was 13, she was 12, she was blonde, I was brunette, but we had common ground in our love for Taylor Swift. We experienced the highs and the lows of teenage life together and have still become and remained friends throughout it all. But she's not a Christian, or at least wasn't when we first met. And so I began to pray for her. But more recently, I was really challenged by God to pray for her every single day, persistently, that God would give me opportunities to speak about Him to her. And just a few weeks ago, after a few different conversations over the weeks, I texted her and I just said, Jo, what is it that I can pray for? And you will never believe the text that I got back. Totally out of the blue, she said, Grace, I'm on holiday in Europe, and yesterday on the beach, I decided to give my life to Jesus. Will you pray that when I get home, that I find a church? Now, guys, I'd love to say that that journey was quick and it was easy, but it wasn't. It was persistent, it was hard. It was a process and a journey, but boy, was it worth it. To see Jo now say yes to Jesus, finding a church, finding community, and truly understanding her purpose, it's the best thing ever. So going from a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old who loved spending time together, loved listening to Taylor Swift, making up dances in the living room together, we now have this incredible, deep friendship where we can speak about anything. And I've been able to share with her through the highs and lows of life about Jesus and what an impact he's made. And sometimes I felt along the way like it wasn't making any difference at all, but I want to encourage you that it does. So please step out in this process. Please throw yourselves all in. Be bold, have courage, pray for those things, but always remember that God's with you. It says in Acts that he gives us power to be his witnesses. And so I want to encourage you from day one. It's about your story, it's about their story, it's about God's story, and how those sync up. We'll be exploring what that actually looks like in your everyday. But please remember, most importantly, that prayer goes along with this process, hand in hand.
Thank you so much for watching the first video of Sync. If you want to get more involved, please comment below about what you're enjoying about these videos. If you check out the description box, we'll be putting different links and different Bible verses up if you want to go a little bit deeper with what we're talking about in these videos. And I hope you really enjoy them.
So join us tomorrow because Grace is going to introduce us all to her husband Nath, and they're going to play a very messy game involving cream, and it's just going to be a really great time to get to know them. So yeah, that's enough from us, and see you guys later. Bye!